Greetings summoners, Aphelios, the new marksman, is live on the test servers, so it's time to have a closer look at his ability kit, weapon combos and the champion interface. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button before we go on, cause this guide will surely be useful. Also, check out our website MoreLegends.com, the biggest League of Legends learning platform with video guides in the world. You'll find more than 1,500 unique video guides made by professional players. We also add 10 new videos every week. And that's not quite all. On our website you'll find the best tools for match analysis, useful articles, guides and courses, personal coaching and of course much more. So subscribe to MoreLegends, and without further ado guys, let's see what Aphelios has up his sleeves. So, Aphelios is an unusual champion. First of all, even the champion interface is different. Aphelios only has 3 buttons, Q, W and R. W swaps between his weapons, leaving him with 2 actual abilities. You can bind your A to whatever you want. Aphelios automatically learns his Q and R, Q at level 2 and R at level 6 as usual. He puts his 18 level up points into stats rather than abilities. That's attack damage, attack speed and bonus armor penetration. You can reach not more than 24 AD, 36% attack speed and up to 18% armor penetration. You gotta think twice before you choose the first level up. Armor penetration is obviously a late game option, while the choice between attack damage and attack speed completely depends on your build. Despite the fact that you only have to press 3 keys, Aphelios has more spell options than any other champion in League of Legends. Now what a paradox. Each of Aphelios' 5 weapons has its own Q ability, passive ability and a bonus effect to his ultimate spell. Speaking of his ultimate, it's a long-ranged skill shot with a large hitbox, the effects of which depend on your main hand weapon. And yeah, Aphelios attacks with his main hand weapon, but always carries an off-hand weapon he can swap to with W. His weapons have 50 ammo, Moonlight, each. Basic attacks consume 1 ammo, while the Q spell 10 ammo. His ultimate ability has no ammo cost. When a weapon runs empty, you get the next one in line. The weapon starting rotation is always the same, and the next weapon is indicated on the panel, so you can think through your playstyle in advance. Each weapon and the ammo panel has its own color to ease your burden. Pay attention, each Q applies bonus attacks and effects based on Aphelios' offhand weapon. That's kinda complicated, so let's have a look at a few examples. Calibrum, the rifle. It's a poke harass weapon, its basic attacks have extra range. Aphelios gets 650 attack range in total, which can be compared to Caitlyn's range. All his other weapons have 550 range, which is kind of average, for example like Misfortune. Calibrum Q is a skill shot that damages the first unit hit, including minions, and marks them. When abilities deal damage with Calibrum, they mark enemies hit for 4 seconds. Aphelios can right-click marked enemies anywhere on the map to follow up with a basic attack from his offhand weapon. It's similar to Caitlyn's ultimate, but the missile is weaker, travels slower and cannot be blocked. Moonlight Vigils are follow-up attacks mark all enemies hit. A concentrated blast of Moonlight explodes when it hits an enemy champion, dealing physical damage in the area. This ability applies on hit effects. Critical strikes deal 150 damage. Due to the Calibrum bonus, the ultimate blast marks all hit targets. You can attack only one of them, dealing additional damage for each marked unit. Severum, the Scythe Pistol. Severum is a sustain weapon that heals Aphelios for a portion of the damage it deals, overheal mechanics. Overhealing from Severum is converted into a small shield. Severum Q grants movement speed and allows you to rapidly fire your main hand and offhand weapons at the nearest enemy, prioritizing champions. Onslaught shots behave like basic attacks but deal reduced damage. Moonlight Vigil grants Aphelios a flat heal, 200 to 400, depending on his level and the ability damage. The weapon's main function is sustain, so place it to offhand and regeneration health with other weapons, or equip it and heal from minions and neutral monsters. Gravitum, the Cannon. Gravitum is a utility weapon that applies a decay and slow to enemies, 30% slow, decaying over 3.5 seconds. Gravitum Q can damage and root all enemies on the map affected by Gravitum's slow. But the bad news is that Eclipse doesn't use Aphelios' offhand weapon and doesn't apply its effects, such as sustain from Severum or marks from Calibrum. Probably Riot think that an ADC with CC is already cool, and we kind of agree with them. In offhand, Gravitum grants slow to your main weapon's abilities. Moonlight Vigil's follow-up attacks apply a massive increased slow, 90%, letting you immobilize the target's hit with your Q. This ability is great for initiating fight or creating CC chains. Next, Infernum, the Flamethrower. Infernum is an AoE wave clear weapon. It deals increased basic attacks and ability damage and creates a damage cone behind enemy's hit, something in between Graves' Autos and the Titanic Hydra effect. Damage to minions decreased twice. Infernum Q, spout a wave of flame damaging enemies, then basic attack all enemies hit with your offhand weapon. Moonlight Vigil's follow-up attacks create damage circles around enemies hit instead of damage cones behind them, so this is a weapon for clearing minion waves and fighting in narrow spaces. And the last weapon in the champion's kit is Crescendum, the Chakram. Crescendum is a close-range DPS weapon that behaves like a boomerang. It looks like Draven's axes but actually works like Summon Aerie. Once Aphelios basic attacks with Crescendum, he can't attack again until it returns to him, but his attack resets when it does. The closer Aphelios is to his target, the less distance Crescendum has to travel, and the faster Aphelios can attack. Also, attack speed increases Crescendum's travel speed. When you hit Q, you deploy a Lunar Sentry that shoots the nearest target with your offhand weapon. Sentries last for 20 seconds. When an enemy approaches, sentries activate and deal physical damage over 4 seconds. If Moonlight Vigil hits fewer than 3 enemies, its follow-up attacks still increase the damage of Crescendum's basic attacks, as if at least 3 enemies were hit. If Crescendum is your offhand weapon, your abilities summon chakrams that circle around Aphelios over a few seconds. You can activate them by switching the chakram to your main hand. By the way, at the moment it's one of the strongest combos on this champion. With 40% CDR, Severum allows you to stack up to 25 temporary chakrams that can be activated by swapping weapons, say to quickly capture Nasha. Riot might nerf this feature by increasing the CD of Severum, so that it's longer than the time the chakrams last. Or maybe it's all planned. Anyway, CDR builds, instant pentakills and 9000 plus damage with boomerangs are coming, so brace yourself, guys. So, Aphelios cycles through 5 weapons and attacks with his main hand weapon, but also has an offhand weapon. As a result, we get 20 different weapon combos, each of which affects your actions and playstyle. That's basically like flying an airplane. At night. With no instruments. I mean, how hard can that be? God Calibrum and Gravitium, you're a ranged marksman for sieging, poking, engaging, disengaging and follow-ups. God Crescendum and Severum, well, you're a mobile melee marksman with insane sustain and DPS. And so on and so forth. Aphelios is a truly multifaceted champion with a high skill cap and infinite potential. A true professional will be able to adjust and realize the potential of each weapon combination. As for beginners, well, this champion will only give them a headache. As always, Aphelios looks quite overbuffed at the moment. He has too much damage and no vulnerable spots. Aphelios, like all the latest champions, is overloaded with complex mechanics. TLDR, he is freaking imba. But now let's talk about a few interesting weapon combos. Calibrum and Infernum. Calibrum allows you to right-click on the target from any distance to deal damage with a basic attack, and with Infernum's help, you'll hit all the targets in its way. So if your enemy decides to hide behind their allies, it will be even better for you. Now swap the weapons with Infernum in your main hand, and there you have it, a burst damage tool. Hit as many targets as possible with Infernum, mark them, and then right-click on the enemy to deal bonus damage increased for each marked unit. Boom! Crescendum sentries allow you to activate the mark for a few times from a long distance. Place them in the lane brush and punish your opponents for every face check. The combination of Infernum and Crescendum can grant you a huge advantage in melee duels among minions. The flamethrower lets you stack chakram, and the subsequent swap to Crescendum will greatly amplify your DPS. Severum plus Crescendum. Low Severum Q cooldown allows you to stack 25 chakrams, then simply switch to Crescendum. Tons of damage. Perfect for fighting against melee champions or capturing objectives. Crescendum and Gravitium is your disengage tool. Place a sentry with slow to fall back. And finally, Infernum plus Severum lets you instantly regenerate health when clearing waves. So guys, what do you think about Aphelios? Which weapon combination do you think is the strongest? Do you think there are more OP combos? Let us know in the comments below. But on this note guys, thank you so much for watching this video, you are truly the best. Please subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about MoreLegends, and don't forget to visit the website. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and on this note, thank you so much for watching again, and good luck in your solo queue.